Edmund Kemper was born on December 18, 1948 in Burbank, California. From an early age, Kemper displayed troubling behavior. His parents divorced when he was young, and he had a particularly strained relationship with his mother, Clarnell Strandberg, who was emotionally abusive and domineering. She often belittled him, telling him that no woman would ever love him, and forced him to live in the basement away from his sisters, fearing he might harm them. This toxic relationship would later become a central theme in Kemper's crimes. Kemper's disturbing tendencies emerged early. As a child, he tortured and killed animals, a common trait among serial killers. At the age of 15, Kemper acted on his violent impulses for the first time. In 1964, after a heated argument, he shot and killed his grandparents on their ranch in North Fork, California. Kemper later explained that he committed the murders to see what it felt like and out of frustration with his grandmother, who he claimed was similar to his mother in her abusive behavior. Following these murders, Kemper was sent to the Atascadero State Hospital, a facility for the criminally insane. There he was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia, but Kemper was a model prisoner. He was highly intelligent with an IQ of 145, and used this to manipulate the psychologists and gain their trust. In 1969, at the age of 21, he was released from the hospital, deemed rehabilitated. However, the reality was far from that. Kemper had simply learned to hide his true nature. After his release, Kemper moved in with his mother in Santa Cruz, California. Despite the apparent normalcy, his deep-seated hatred for his mother and his desire for control over women festered. Between 1972 and 1973, Kemper began his killing spree, targeting young female college students, hence the moniker co-ed killer. Kemper would pick up hitchhikers, usually female students from nearby colleges, offering them a ride. Once he had them in his car, he would drive them to secluded areas where he would murder them, often by strangulation or stabbing. After killing them, Kemper would take their bodies back to his apartment, where he engaged in acts of necrophilia and dismemberment. He kept their severed heads as trophies, further emphasizing his need for control and dominance. Kemper's intelligence and methodical nature made him an elusive killer. He appeared calm and collected, even befriending the police officers who were investigating the murders. He would often drink at a bar frequented by local law enforcement, listening to them discuss the case without any suspicion falling on him. Despite his growing number of victims, Kemper's primary target remained his mother. On April 20, 1973, Kemper finally acted on his deep-seated hatred. He bludgeoned Clarnell to death with a claw hammer while she slept, then decapitated her and performed grotesque acts on her severed head. Afterward, he called his mother's best friend, Sally Hallett, and invited her over, where he killed her as well, staging her death to look like a disappearance. After these murders, Kemper fled the state, driving aimlessly for days. Finally, overwhelmed by the weight of his crimes, he called the police from a phone booth in Pueblo, Colorado, and confessed to the murders. At first, the police didn't believe him. After all, this was Big Ed, the friendly guy who hung out with them at the bar. But Kemper insisted, providing details that only the killer would know. He then waited for the authorities to arrive and arrest him. During his trial, Kemper was remarkably candid about his crimes, providing chillingly detailed accounts of the murders. He was found guilty of 8 counts of first-degree murder, and was sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. He is currently serving his sentence at the California Medical Facility in Vacaville.